Hello. The younger generation tells me that denim shirts are no longer de rigueur. But what do they know? I mean, just look. Well, maybe not. Maybe you'd like instead to focus on that which you can see in front of you. It's a bottle of Cava, no ordinary Cava. It also has the cap on it, which is quite interesting as well, with some lovely bottles, and more interesting than all to me, it's closest to me as well, is a glass of said Cava, which I've been gently sipping in preparation for this particular YouTube video on Dio Cava. It's a special Cava. You can perhaps see on the label that it's got a golden V. This is the V out of the word Cava. There are 4 letters in the word Cava, and you can perhaps make out that on the cap in front of you you've got 4 different coloured bottles. The first of which is a Cava which denotes a Brut young Cava. Next, it's actually coloured in green. You can see a bottle which denotes a Reserva Cava, so going up in quality and a different style completely. Then you can see the one that you have in front of me, which is a Gran Reserva Cava. And finally you can see a pink coloured one. Well, you've guessed what that is, of course. That's a Rosado Cava as well. Each of these have a C, A, V or A on, denoting whichever style of Cava they are. But it's quite interesting because you cannot buy this bottle of Cava. Oh no. It's made specifically for the Denominación de Origen Cava de Consejo Regulador. This is because it is used to promote Cava in all the countries of the world. Wherever there are Cava exhibitions organised by the Dio Cava, they always take these Cavas along with them. They don't take individual bodegas Cavas because they are left, of course, to do their own promotion. What Dio Cava wants to do is to promote the brand, and quite rightly so. So they actually take along a bottle, or several bottles of course, which have been made deliberately and specifically for them for their promotional activities. Now, it's a bit of a trade secret as to who it is who makes the Cava for the Consejo Regulador. And I can't tell you, not because my lips have been sealed, but because I don't know. I asked the question and have done several times and I've never been given an answer. I understand. They want to keep it secret and that's fine by me. What I'm interested in is what's in the bottle. Well, this is a Gran Reserva Cava. Now you probably know, you perhaps know, that the rules are that you can only release a Gran Reserva Cava if it's had at least 30 months in the bottle waiting in the enrima position, which is essentially upside down with its lees, because its lees, the dead sediment, after the yeast has done the job of actually starting the second fermentation, it's left on the lees for 30 months, and this gives it a minimum of 30 months, and this gives it that extra body, which is essential. Now, I recently did, for Consejo Regulador, Dio Cava, I actually recently presented a dinner which was using all the different styles of Cava. We used a young Brut, we used a young Rosado Brut, a Reserva Brut, and a Gran Reserva Brut. In fact, this one, there was a bottle left over, which I nabbed for this particular video. And the idea of this dinner was to promote the idea that you can use Cava not just for the celebration that we always search out Cava for. No, because we can use Cava for pairing with various different styles of food. Now you might think that a meat-based dish would go with a beautiful Spanish red wine. You'd be right, of course. But that doesn't exclude Cava. It certainly doesn't exclude this style of Cava, a Gran Reserva. Because in fact we linked this style, this Gran Reserva, this actual bottle, with some lamb recently at this particular dinner, and it went down reasonably well. It went down very well. So what actually happens? Well, we've got Macabeo in here. You need Macabeo because this provides the acidity, the essential freshness to Cava, which is certainly a big part of Cava and which we should always have, whether it's a young Cava or an older style Cava like this. Very important. So we've got Macabeo. We've also got Xarel·lo in this particular Cava. The reason for that is because we want to have body which is supplied by Xarel·lo. We also have a touch of finesse, a touch of elegance, and this is provided by Perellada, which is also one of the 3 traditional grape varieties in Cava. Now, this is a Gran Reserva Cava, which has had not just the minimum of 30 months, but it's had longer. It's had another half year, 36 months in Rima, where it's been aging gently in the cellars, where it's now ready for its release to show us just what a Gran Reserva Cava is all about. It's got depth, it's got body, well it would need to have to go with a meat dish, wouldn't it? But it still has that essential freshness, that wonderful raison d'etre that we all like about Cava. And I highly recommend it as a style. And if you're looking for a Cava with a difference, look for Reservas and Gran Reservas. They are going to reward you for that extra few euros that you might need to spend on them. My advice, stick with the denim shirts and stick with Cava, particularly those premium ended Cava. Enjoy.